Welcome to Own Your Words. Fractious. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Fractious. Fractious. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. If you're prone to picking fights, making snarky comments, and being frustratingly stubborn, you're fractious. 2. If you describe someone as fractious, you disapprove of them because they become upset, or angry very quickly about small unimportant things. 3. Easily upset or annoyed, and often complaining. 4. Someone who is fractious becomes angry very easily. Examples. 1. Like many men with powerful temperaments, he evoked rebellion in the fractious. 2. And will the fractious relationships between the radio groups have any chance of healing? 3. Admittedly, they went to North Carolina, as a fractious team with too many cliques. 4. The principal gave the fractious students detention for misbehaving in the cafeteria. 5. Reality TV, like Mr. Trump's campaign, is a product of a fractious time of niche audiences. 6. Yet traders doubted that a fractious parliament would back a second referendum. 7. Habitually fractious and difficult, Andrew is now becoming well-nigh impossible. 8. The opening scenes of this fractious heist movie see him at his most acute. 9. Admittedly, they went to North Carolina, as a fractious team with too many cliques. 10. For some unaccountable reason, they had suddenly decided to become fractious. 11. I repeat this the other way as it is more convenient for all, particularly fractious kids. 12. Brookfield is in a bit of a pickle, everyone's late and rushed and generally fractious. Gluttonous. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Gluttonous. Gluttonous. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. If you think that someone eats too much and is greedy, you can say they are gluttonous. 2. A person who eats, or consumes immoderate amounts of food and drink. 3. A person with an inordinate capacity to receive, or withstand something. 4. Eating and drinking more than you need. 5. Tending to eat, and drink excessively, voracious. Examples. 1. The pious priests withdrew their hands from it, while gluttonous priests took and devoured it. 2. Lesson in temperance heard spoken from the tree on the terrace of the gluttonous. 3. In sports disaster often feeds upon itself, but this was a sickeningly gluttonous example. 4. They are equally obstinate and gluttonous, and are always arguing like siblings. 5. He was really nourished by the farmer's gluttonous delight, in his supposed piles of wealth. 6. Stewed eels make a nice supper, interrupted Tweezle with gluttonous simplicity. 7. He is all these things, but he is also like an apple, after a prolonged and gluttonous binge. 8. It's hard to recall a time since the gluttonous 1980s when fashion wasn't wobbly. 9. Instead, language is overloaded by a gluttonous excess of surfaces and aspects of the thing. 10. I would tax those mags out of existence, along with lots of other gluttonous enterprises. 11. The gluttonous paradox, however, is that the result is nearly always unfulfilling. 12. It's not too noisy, not too precious, not too far, not too healthy, not too gluttonous. Gratuitous. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Gratuitous. Gratuitous. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. If you describe something as gratuitous, you mean that it is unnecessary, and often harmful or upsetting. 2. Said or done without a good reason, in a way that offends someone. 3. Given or granted without return or recompense, earned. 4. Given or received without cost or obligation, free. 5. Gratuitous means without cause, or unnecessary. Telling ridiculous jokes at a somber occasion would be a display of gratuitous humor. Examples. 1. A lot of viewers complained that there was too much gratuitous sex and violence in the film. 2. Bosses wanted to respect the audience by not making the scenes gratuitous. 3. He was the victim of wholly gratuitous violence in the prison where he was detained. 4. Fearless and wicked as they are, they dare not attempt such open and gratuitous cruelty. 5. I love the way he takes things in his stride, without the need for gratuitous violence. 6. These sometimes lack transparency and, more frustratingly, are often gratuitous. 7. Responding to White's appearance, Teller said, "That is just gratuitous stunt casting." 8. The network refused to televise the film, because it contained too much gratuitous violence. 9. That marks the public's revulsion at acts of gratuitous violence against innocent victims. 10. Within a short period of time, gratuitous violence has become commonplace. 11. Primroses and landscapes, he pointed out, have one grave defect: they are gratuitous. 12. I woke early, having slept soundly, and dreamlessly thanks to my gratuitous drug use. Heinous? Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Heinous? Heinous? It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. A heinous crime is very evil or wicked. 2. If you describe something such as a crime as heinous, you mean that it is extremely evil or horrible. 3. Hateful, odious, abominable, totally reprehensible. 4. Very shocking and immoral. Examples. 1. It might be just for so heinous a crime, it might be justice, but would it be merciful? 2. Does an act as heinous as the one Robert committed, automatically imply mental illness? 3. I would say I'm sorry to interrupt this parochial backslapping, but this is heinous rubbish. 4. The Israeli response to the heinous crimes committed by Palestinians often seems overkill. 5. For agents, the new concern is that the heinous activity may be directed at them. 6. The achievement, though heinous in concept, is part of a non-existent environment. 7. We not only face the heinous crimes dead on, but we also face our fellow viewers. 8. Normally, this heinous breach of decorum was the pitfall of young lieutenants' wives. 9. He moaned the whole night through as if he had, in fact, been guilty of some heinous crime. 10. I struggle with ugly and horrendous and heinous, she said, but strange is really good. 11. I think this is a particularly heinous moment in American history. Trump. 12. A cockerel laying an egg, after all, was a heinous and unnatural crime, the court found. Hideous. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Hideous. Hideous. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. Hideous is a word that means extremely ugly. 2. If you say that someone or something is hideous, you mean that they are very ugly or unattractive. 3. You can describe an event, experience, or action as hideous when you mean that it is unpleasant, painful, or difficult to bear. 4. horrible or frightful to the senses, repulsive, very ugly. 5. Offensive to the senses, and especially to sight, exceedingly ugly. Examples. 1. So say goodbye to those hideous old overhead lights, that come standard in many homes. 2. She wears the most hideous color combinations, you could ever imagine. 3. He couldn't believe that Spurge had recently imagined him that way, hideous and growling. 4. This hideous event is obviously in large measure, the consequence of human agency. 5. These are dramatic genetic disorders that, typically cause early death by hideous pathology. 6. The sense of disgust at all these trolls, scampering around your feet. 7. If my friends told me something was hideous, then I would definitely think twice. 8. In fairy stories the prince is always very handsome, and the witch hideous. 9. He became vast and covered my face, his hideous throat working. 10. I could not hear what was said, they seemed to be talking in their own hideous language. 11. And that hideous bland gray, too. We should go and demand they change it back. 12. Dee was never an objective judge of whether I looked beautiful, or perfectly hideous. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos.